What's up, everybody? ZFarls here with Campus Heroes, Daily Login, and NFL Combine. So let's talk about how you can get your lineup ready and then who will be worth your coins. Ultimately, some good players to target here as the season rolls on in Ultimate Team. So Campus Heroes pick up a Dennard at corner, 96 overall in packs. We'll talk about his ratings, and then we'll go through and actually talk about each item and then the Combine login players. I'll show you the set that you can go after. Now, this is a 93 left tackle with identifier. I believe he's one of the only left tackles with identifier. That's generally a guard thing. And secure tackler is mostly found out in the tackles. So for Yankee to have a item here that's a run block style item, it's not the best on paper run block strength item. His pass block's a little low, but he's got good impact block and he's an identifier. He's 6'6". So if you need a player somehow, however you want to tweak your lineup to utilize that at that position, this is a good option. Also his gold, there's a gold which I could click in and show you, but he's got a really low rated gold that's 83 whatever, but it's got identifier at tackle, so potentially salary cap if you want to build your line that way. This is Demontre Moore, former Giant, 6'5", 84 speed at right end. Solid power move at 92, but I'm going to pass on this item. 84 strength's a little bit low for my liking. Not bad balance with the 92 power move, 83 finesse, and you can get his play rec to 90, but you know, I think that there's so many really good right ends. If you grab this guy, that will certainly work. PJ Dawson at right outside linebacker. He has coverage linebacker, so he can boost the speed a bit, but he's only 6 feet tall. He's got 90 acceleration. Good play rec, and I don't dislike some of the hit power that he's got. If you're still building a budget team, this Campus Hero could find a way to make it to your lineup. He is a 81 in zone coverage, and he's 89 in power move. So he actually is pretty well balanced across the board if you do need a guy for one of those positions. But he's a 93, so he'll maintain some cost. And then lastly, Andre Williams from Boston College, former Giant as well. He grabs a 91 speed, 95 truck back item. I like this player. He's also got a gold. So 55 cap's really expensive. You're always going to see people probably go Ricky Williams unless this guy shows. I mean, he does have 96 carry. I don't think he fumbled his entire career at BC. I don't think he caught a pass either, but I think he rarely fumbled. So maybe he's very secure with the ball. And he's got a gold, who we saw a gold like Chris Ivory, who was battle ready, good strength, good truck, be an option. So there's a chance that CJ Anderson plays really well. You could see this Andre Williams, either him or his gold, potentially appear. But as we look at the right side, we see the daily login players, and we'll go over those. They're in the game now, but obviously you need big time items stacked into the sets to get them. So LeSean McCoy and Landon Collins are your two options. And then there's two other guys that we'll talk about. But this Landon Collins, you would obviously get his field general going. A 95 speed strong safety with double big hitter and hot hands. His man's still only up at 81, but that's okay. That's not what you're going to use him for. His zone's at 92, and his play recognition jumps to 93. He's got 85 strength with his hit power being 98 hit power before you have to sub anybody else. And this player right here, if you can get him, blitz him off the edge, I think this is the new best blitzer in Ultimate Team. I know a lot of people like Dion, but he's got 95 speed too now. He's going to be so much stronger in the run game, 85. 88 block shed. This guy is out of control. And now I know he's going to be very, very expensive, but I think you're looking at an end game safety right here. Down in the box, the big dime, those formations where the strong safeties come down. He's got good size. Unbelievable item. Obviously, the hot hands isn't something that I factor in because I don't use a strong safety, but some people might want to see that. Much more defensive, physically defensive than, say, the Paul Krause, who's an option. But the speed, I don't know what else to say besides get ready to open up your coins because he's going to be really, really expensive, but he's also available in sets. Now, LeSean McCoy is the next guy, and as we think about the NFL Combine, Obviously, you see some guys here. Could there be more options? What do combine players usually bring? They usually, I think in years past, you've had like speed versions, strength versions. You've had, really athletic players. There was a Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie that came out of the combine a couple years ago. Sometimes Chris Johnson comes out of the combine because he had such a good running performance. So athleticism, to me, is what the combine's all about. Obviously, they do tests that measure your aptitude, but mostly, I think, physical skills, speed, strength, agility. That's what I think when I think combine, and that's where I would say, okay, who put on a huge show at the combine, and how can, this is where I think things will take a jump. So if you have guys that are like teetering on being just not athletic enough to play in your lineup, I think we're going to see an evolution to get more. But Shady McCoy has route runner, which gets him up to 91 route running. Wow, wish it was 92, but it's 91 out of the backfield, which makes him an amazing receiver. 95 speed on Shady when he is standard, and 98 spin move, 96 elusive. Look, Energizer, I think Battle Ready is overall better, but it can't hurt if you could start to use some of those new run moves. I've used other Shady McCoys. He's got 98 agility. Look, Marcus Allen showed me that it's not always about LeGarrette Blount style runners, that it's nice to have some guys who break tackles and get out there. I am looking forward big time to using this LeSean McCoy along with Michael Vick to add more of a speed style back to my game, and then putting in a cheaper truck back. 63 cap's a lot. That's how physically gifted this McCoy is. You can see it reflected in that salary cap cost. But these are some things you got to consider when you start to look at combine. Who else could we be getting, and how is their athleticism going to change the game, change the market, and who's going to come down in price later, and then who's not really going to be relevant anymore after a certain point. So those are factors that if you're getting your team ready for the combine, you've got to look into. Two other players, Kareem Jackson and Emmanuel Sanders, are part of the daily login sets, and we'll talk about those guys real quick. We also need to go over the Dennard, so let's just jump on him because we skipped him for the moment. But this Dennard, to me, obviously he's a man cover corner because he has 93 speed and 94 man coverage. That's his game. He's physical, 95 press. So I will pass on him only, even though he gets much faster with field general. Wow, let's actually click in and take a look. The reason I was initially, on my initial pass, overlooking him was because he's 5'11", so even though he has 94 speed and 96 man, which is plenty, 96 man is what I like to see, and 93 speed or higher is what I want to see, plus that play rec, plus the press. He's 5'11", so I'd rather go with a guy like DRC, who maybe isn't as this is the next level past the DRC team of the year, but I would have to test the height. Chris Harris, guys like that, I like the taller players above 6'1", Willie Brown, and you'd have to be willing to play a man coverage style game. Most people play zone right now, and they want those big physical hitters down in there, and that's just the way the game is played. But if you are going to shift to man coverage, Dennard's certainly a guy. I don't know if height is better on the inside or the outside. Those are some things to consider. He's certainly there. I just prefer the DRC, and you got to get 4-man corners if you're going to play that style. I believe you need 4-man corners if you're really going to go after man coverage. And then you have Kareem Jackson, who's another CB, and we'll compare these two. He is at 92 speed. You can get him to 93 if you boost. He's got 97 zone coverage, so this is a zone style guy. Same 95 play rec. Ferocious. Not the biggest hitter or the biggest block shedder, but good pursuit. And if you need a guy to just stay down on the flat, play really, really good zone coverage, maybe move him in the slot. I feel like the game is kind of Mel Blount, Jalen Ramsey, those type of players on the outside, a slot guy inside who blitzes or is more physical. Where does that leave Kareem Jackson? Well, if you're playing a different style, or you need more corners out there, or you got a role that he doesn't need to tackle as much, but you need a guy who reacts really, really well in zone, and you're not using a linebacker like Sean Lee or KJ Wright or something like that, you could get this guy in this role, and he's going to play very, very well. 97 zones, pretty much the highest in the game. A little shorter, 5'10", so maybe you go Sherman, but That all depends on where the price sits at, and he's obviously going to be less than the other two guys that we just showed from this redemption. And then you have Emmanuel Sanders at receiver. If we boost him up, he easily gets to 96 route running, even jumps up well above 97. 93 speed, super agile, super quick, super shifty. 92 catch and traffic is good with 93 spec. So he's a route runner through and through, T.Y. Hilton style. Not physical for the outside, so you got to move this guy in the slot and run him on specific corner routes. See if that catch and traffic holds up. Maybe get him to 94 with Hopkins. I still think every team should have a Hopkins starting to get the catch and traffic boost and to trigger playmakers that you could then put behind it. I like this option. I think there's a good amount of guys, though, that do what he does, so I just would have to see where the price comes in at, but he's a guy you could certainly target. It's a rock-solid choice for your lineup. So I would say moving forward, looking into testing a couple of these campus heroes, whether this guy will play good as an identifier at the tackle position or his gold will. If Andre Williams is maybe, I don't think he's going to replace Ricky Williams because Ricky Williams is just really, really good. But, do you get some value there on his gold, or does he hang onto the rock really, really well? And then just chasing Landon Collins, possibly McCoy, but really just chasing Landon Collins. This could be the best defender in the game. So that is what I'm looking for. Hopefully this gives you some time to go look at your binder, check out those new sets inside the game. I have up on the screen behind here. You guys can't see it, but you get a pack for logging in. You could put that into the sets. You start to chase these guys and keep going after it. So hopefully that helps you get a better perspective on what to think about for the upcoming combine. And hopefully there'll be some more action. I don't have any info, but leave me in the comments who you think could be a big factor and how the game will change as the combine comes out. All right, until next time, this is ZFarls reminding you, sometimes Madden's easy, sometimes Madden's hard, but no matter what, you gotta lock up.